And we are live. Hey everybody, welcome to Epic Time. This is the 9th of August, the noon show, day 8 of the Hokahei. So we're going to give this a second to give people a chance to start getting on. And while we do that, I'm going to be all responsible and do the one job I have after the show starts, and that is to share this. So I have to share it around because of YouTube's, or not YouTube's, Facebook's wonderful way of not letting us just post directly to it. So I got to make sure we share this so the riders in Minnesota see it. Bouts Routes gets to see it. I don't know if I missed anybody, sorry. Day 8. All right, we're good. That phone might die, but I don't need it anymore. We are live from Mount Rushmore because yesterday we were going to come here and we decided to do the National Cemetery and change it up a little bit. But I'm out here because this is where all the cool people hang out. Like I'm out here with Samuel here. Want to say hi?
Hi.
Oh, you know what? I don't have my good microphone on. Make sure somebody. Man, you got me all messed up, my man. Can you hear it? All right. So I guess this microphone is good enough. If there's any problems, let me know. There's Ben saying hi from Dothan, Alabama. That's where I just started an exclamation point during a little ride I did. So you want to say hi?
Hi.
Yeah. How old are you?
8.
8 years old. And I was telling this young man that that was the age that we took Gavin around Texas. So would you ever want to sit on a motorcycle for a week straight, 8 days in 100-degree temps, doing just a touch over the speed limit?
No.
No. If you're not a biker, then what do you do for fun?
Hunt.
You hunt. This kid's up my alley here. He likes to hunt and he hunts. And we got mom here. You want to say hi, mom?
Hi.
See, this is not just an unsupervised kid I just rounded up. Like, mom's here too to
I
give.
signed all the consent waivers.
Yeah,
We're
we got
good.
we got
We're
everything
good.
here. So it's the kid's having fun. But he was right up my alley because I grew up hunting at his age, and I always liked shooting it. And we were talking about shooting. I don't know. I was happy to hear they still call them Tweety birds. So I shoot barn swallows with a Daisy Red Ryder. Was your first gun a Red Ryder?
No.
No, you went straight to the real stuff.
Yeah.
That's badass. And tell us about your deer hunting last year.
What'd you kill?
A buck and a doe.
Yep. What'd you
Yeah.
shoot it with?
350 legend.
350 Legend.
That's pretty awesome. How many deer did Dad get?
1.
One. We won't talk about the size. We're here about numbers. Numbers are bragging.
Mm-hmm.
Dad might have had them in antlers, but not in numbers. So you own it. And he was pretty impressed with my bracelet. That's all he got was my bracelet. So typically we're running around and we got all kinds of stuff. But you think when I actually go somewhere where there's kids, I'd bring anything? No, it's out on my motorcycle. So if all on my motorcycle was done, man, we'll hook you up. Otherwise, enjoy your bracelet. It says all I got was a stupid bracelet. And right now he's thinking, man, how did I get wrapped into this? Can't mom and dad just go somewhere else? And they're not out here, and you're not out here because of the rally. You just came out here to go on vacation to see Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come to find out there's 500,000 idiots like me hanging out. Have you seen a lot of crazy bikers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen anybody do any stupid stuff like tip their motorcycle over or do any crazy burnouts or nothing fun?
No.
Say not yet, but the day is young.
Yeah, how long have you been in town?
12 hours.
Oh, 12 hours. Yeah, you just got here.
Got here.
Like I'd recommend going downtown Sturgis tonight. The Sunday night of the rally, everybody's getting here. The people that are staying for the week, they're hanging out. I highly recommend that. I think you'll be entertained. There's a lot going on down
Let's
there.
send Daddy and just stay at the hotel in the park. Okay.
You want Dad to go? Well, should we take Dad out tonight?
No, not really. He'll probably pass out.
In my younger days, I used to pass out too, but now I don't even. Now I pass out at like 10 o'clock because I'm shot from running our boots. That's pretty awesome. Let's check the comments here because somebody's saying hi. Oh, my wife says, hi, handsome. I'm assuming she's talking to me. Are you talking to me or little Samuel here because he's a handsome young man? All right, let's say that's pretty fun. Wait, there's a special speed limit when I ride? Yes, there is. There's special. They're touch over the posted limit. All right,
Those
we
are
got.
just suggestions.
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. I like this family is all right. Like I don't get to Arkansas a lot, but when I do, we're shooting Tweety birds and we're gonna go for a ride. And I'm gonna show you some video getting to your house. Your dad and I are gonna go kill a 12-pointer. Like that's what I'm talking about. Hey, honey, I'm not gonna be home till after deer hunting. When is your deer season?
Say it actually starts. The velvet hunt starts at the end of this month.
The velvet hunt, that's a southern thing because I'm a Yankee and we don't have a velvet hunt. That was something new I just heard about. So you're gonna go hunt one in velvet?
Yep.
A bunch of people are on here going, "You're gonna shoot a deer in velvet?" And I'm like,
Let's
"Yeah."
get
That's pretty cool to get one in velvet because I've never got to do that. So that's pretty awesome. And hold on a second. I had to. It's not like he came here on his own free will. I told the kid I'd give him $20 if he came on our show. So, I am a man of my word, Samuel. There's your $20.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Yeah, he got so much more than a stupid bracelet, man. Sam was over here like, yeah, now the dude's not so bad. Ice cream. What else are you gonna get?
I don't know.
What do you spend money on as an 8-year-old?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't play video games. Spend on that stupid V-Buck crap, do you?
No.
Yeah, buy something useless like
Like,
something you can save as a souvenir and remember
like
your trip
BB
from.
ammo.
Yeah, BB ammo, something good like that. So
I'm trying to save up to a new shotgun,
a new shotgun. What kind of shotgun are you looking for?
28 gauge.
A 28 gauge. I never had one of those, man. I've had 20s, 16s, 12s, obviously. That's about it. What do you use a 28 gauge for? Doves?
I don't have one.
What would you use it for if you had it?
Oh,
Say doves, ducks,
dove, ducks, geese.
geese, quail.
Man, they got everything down there. I got to get down to Arkansas. I didn't know doves were a thing that you hunt until I was like an adult because we didn't have doves where I was at. And if you did, there was like 2 little mourning doves and they look all cute. Then I went down to Tennessee and I'm like, there's like 2 million doves. And I was like, those little things are everywhere. So then I
Tastes
kind of,
real good wrapped in
And they-
bacon on the grill.
And there's some big ones down in Arkansas where you can kill them without seasoning.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, at your age, you can kill a lot of things without season because, well, whatever.
Without limits, honey. Without limits. Not without season. Without limits. The Eurasian collar doves.
Yeah.
Without limits.
We're still learning the rules, and a lot of those rules are a bit on the guideline side, especially if you have to eat. If you plead, I'm starving, I have to feed my mom and my dad. My dad's not as good a hunter as I am. You got to know how to talk. If you tell him, like, if we relied on Dad, I'd be so skinny, I'd waste away. I got to get 2 or 3, even though if the bag limit's a little low, you'll be all good. That's pretty funny. All right, somebody's commenting here. I got to make sure I halfway pay attention to things. But I got to get to the part of the show. See, this is what people are racing here. Let me share this because everybody's wondering how everybody's doing and what they're doing. Before I do that, though, I got to get to one important thing on this show. Today is my daughter's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday to my little Princess Taylor, who's 27. So it's not quite little, but it seems like yesterday she was your age and I was coaching her in sports and having all kinds of fun, but now she is an engineer and she's one of the coolest people I know, super brave, traveled around the country living on her own and doing all kinds of cool stuff. So wish Taylor, if you know Taylor, send her a message, but she's kind of a nerd and she's taken a practice test for her engineering. Something to do with her work thing, was taking a practice test. So I think it's pretty awesome that I have a nerd for a kid. Would you think I'd have a nerd for a kid?
Well, probably.
Yeah, see, he even knows, like, yeah, I got it going on, right? Got kind of that little, kind of like throw off little nerd vibes. Yeah, I like him. You want to hang out? We'll be done the show tomorrow.
I won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I thought for sure he's going to say, yeah, for $40. I'll teach him how to negotiate. And I got to show you one other thing before we get to the tracker too, because we're out here at the Faces, and Samuel and I thought that it was really nice that the Faces made the changes that they made. I didn't know all this construction was going on, but I think it's pretty cool. And he was pretty impressed that I'm so famous, but it was pretty nice that, since the last time I was here, they've added a riot to the right-hand side. And it looks nice looking up there at Honest Abe and not so gentle riot. I thought that was a little nice touch, and I'm glad they went with a little younger photo where I have a little more hair on the sides, that kind of thing. So, what do you think about having the other extra face up there?
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, some people have really good ideas for things, and
Face must be right there.
yeah, it's right there. You can see it good. It's like there it is. It's kind of nice. So get out to the faces and ask them, when they put that fifth face up there. So that's kind of nice. But we're gonna actually show you the faces here in a second. But everybody's waiting to see the results of this race and how people are doing. Sorry, my bad. When I call it a race, I know they get all mad at me for that. But it is a ride, and there you go. What does this say? You a computer guy? You know what these messages telling me? Well, I just got rid of it because that's how I deal with things. All right. This is the tracker. Look at everybody. This is the ride I was telling you about, my man. They are all over the country. They live in Arkansas, so we can zoom out a little bit and see where. There's Arkansas. Right there. Let's zoom in now and see if anybody's in Arkansas. They're in the really exciting part of Arkansas. Kind of flat where you're at?
Yeah.
Yeah. How big are the hills? The sun is like right in this thing. I'm going to turn around so I can see it. Otherwise, oh, there we go. There we go. Now, can you see? Oh, I don't know if you can see this on a map. There's the Mark Twain National Forest. Oh, there's Teeter. That's a good friend of mine. He's ripping down there. He's heading to Oklahoma right now. So let's see if we can see. All right, so you're right down here. See if there's anybody by your house. So it's kind of funny that Doo-Doo is the one by your house. Everybody see that? I bet you live pretty close. Let's see if I can name these towns here. There's a Newport. We're getting close? We're getting close. So I think it's kind of funny that Doo-Doo is the one that happens to be by Samuel's house. So you remember that. Like when you looked at a tracker, there's 276 people out doing this ride, 11,000 miles. And when you happen to look at it, Doo-Doo was by your place, all right? Next time, maybe look. It happens every 2 years. So when you're 10, check it out and see if ride's there. What did you stay up too late last night? I caught you on there. All right, I'm boring the shit out of him. He's like, man, I got my $20. I'm going out of here. We're going for ice cream. That's all right. I got to show people the faces anyhow, so I got to turn around. But I thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Got some other people back here, but they don't even know they're on. Just showing their butt. They're sitting on the fence. Sorry about that. See, at least I got you looking at the camera. All right. All right, now I have a job to do, and, I got to be productive here. But we're going to show you, we're going to get rid of this real quick. I do appreciate you coming on. Enjoy your $20, and if you're around at 7 o'clock, you get another 20. Six, if you stop in at the Harley-Davidson's dealership, you'll be all good. But I'll just spin this around so people can see the faces, because Hydro has one job, and that was to bring the camera, and he didn't bring it. I can't give him any crap, though, because he didn't get much sleep last night because the neighbors were naughty, kept him up too late, and he woke up grumpy and hangry. So I got to be gentle how much crap I give him. But here we are at Mount Rushmore. This is pretty cool. If you've never been out here, this is one of America's must-see stops. One of the places that, the rally, the Hokahei, has come through here several times. One time we came right by here. You can see it plain as day. I think we went on the road just outside. It'd be right here. And when we did that, there was some sheep that were right alongside the road. I thought that was pretty cool. So the sheep were just like hanging out. I don't know what kind of sheep they are, but they're the ones that are way up high, and they were like eating grass right alongside the road. And I laughed at how many people I told about, and they never saw it. So that was kind of funny. Like, that much of it, and you never saw the sheep right next to the road. So they're pretty focused on it. So, all right, I got a rip through. Yeah, Mount Rushmore is super cool. One of my favorite places to come. The Black Hills is awesome. So if you get a chance to be out here in the Black Hills, that part is really cool to begin with, and and then you stop here. I'm always lazy when I stop here, and I've stopped at the road. When I did my 35,000 mile ride, I stopped at the road as well and never came in here. So, and I'm glad I didn't, because they said from right where we're sitting, that close. The day I was here, you couldn't see the faces at all. And the guy was going to bring me, the guy who runs this place, I ran into him on the road, was going to bring me right, let me take my motorcycle right down into here. And then I asked him, I said, am I going to be able to see it any better? He says, no. So fog was in there that day and it was just crazy. But I wanted to share that. I'll leave it like that while I talk, and because you'd rather look at Mount Rushmore, so I can move and look at the screen and add back to the tracker so we can hit on some people. It's a little bit harder because I have this laptop and I'm staring in the sun, so it's a little harder for me to see. But I did want to show Samuel where he lived, that there'd be some bikers coming by there. So when they get home, he might see some Hokahei riders, and might inspire him to go do crazy things. But this is day 8, and these riders now are really learning some Hokahei lessons. They're really learning that the Hokahei is no joke. Oh, is he making it behind me? I didn't even see it. Staring in the sun. That's what I like, man. There's nothing better when kids act their age. There's so much time to be grown up. I'll let you know when I get there. But, that's more like it. So that's kind of fun. But these Hokahei riders on day 8 are definitely learning what it's like on the road and what a tough challenge can be like. And, they're getting wore out. They were riding in Kentucky, riding the Snake. 400, I think that road alone has 400 turns over the course of a shit ton of miles. So, that's a lot of turning, a lot of twisting. As of this morning, I believe there was 54 people that were out. So 54 people out of 276. And a lot of people thought that was a lot. Oh, we're, 54. I tell you what, I fully expect it to be 80, 90, maybe even 100 not making it to the finish line. And part of that is because, they were not prepared for what a windy, twisty nightmare of a route this is, and how many corners. I don't know if anybody has the stats, how many corners there'll be at the end of this, but it would be fun to know how many times they went around a corner. Man, I'm too old to sit like that too long, so you have to get my view for a second. But how many, and I got to be able to see the screen, but how many corners and twists and turns they're taking. And it puts incredible stress and strain on your mind and your body and your bike. And those 3 things, any one of those fails you, you're done. And people think, oh, I got my body ready. Well, they might not have their bike ready. They got the bike and the body, they didn't fuel the mind, and it snapped, on day 10, and it's right there. And it's right there, and it's trouble for them. So people are learning lessons in life. The Hokahei is a busy handing out life lessons today, tomorrow, yesterday, and it's going to continue on. So many people were so confident they were going to make the party. Like the end of the road party on the 15th, we're going to make that. That's 14 days of riding. And to do 14 days of riding, they had to average, over 800 miles a day. So average 800 miles a day, they thought they were prepared. But they were not thinking about 800 miles of twisties, of windy road, doing 40 miles an hour, at best for some. People on trikes trying to navigate those tight things. You got your beast riders. Those are the guys that are way out in front, and girls way out in front, who, are very good at technical riding and finding a place to sleep. So they're really, anybody who's going to finish this by the party is going to be an elite rider in my mind, and that's really what the elite rider was when I started the Hokahei Challenge, because it was the top 20 riders. But at a party, there would only be 23, 24 people when the party started, maybe by 30 by the time it ended. Then the next day had a bunch coming in the next day. So this is not, totally unheard of. This isn't like, oh, this is the hardest challenge that's ever been put out by the Hokahei Challenge. Like, that's not the case. There's other years that are harder. I believe from what I'm seeing, what I'm looking, it's harder than any challenge since I've been involved with it. So I don't know about 16. I can't speak from experience from before 16 and before. But from what I've seen, it's definitely longer, than anyone, and it looks as technical, and the directions, they appear to be as hard as I've ever seen. So it takes you back a few years, and I think that's cool. I think if you're going to have the world's toughest challenge, people have to talk about it like it's the world's toughest challenge, and making it, everybody making it to the end of the road party is clearly not the world's toughest challenge. So I'm old school, and I like things that test people. I like things that are hard. I like them that people fail at. And you can fail, and it doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you failed at this one thing, and you can take that and build on it. You can build on that. You can be better next time, more prepared, more dialed in, not have such a heavy bike. There's people getting 300 miles a day. Some people 200 miles in a day because they're wore out. 200 miles, you're going to be out there for a hot minute, on this one. This is not the same route as 2024, and 2024 had been done prior. That was the original route. So this is a much, much tougher task, and they're finding that out. 24, it was really cool because that was the original route, but that didn't make it hard. It would be hard in 2010 when you're riding motorcycles that were maybe 2000s, 2003, 4, 5, was the average bike, and that would be much harder. But on today's motorcycles, riding a 2010 route was not very hard. It was pretty simple, and that's why the vast majority of people all made it. It was a much shorter, 9,000 some miles. This is going to be over 11,000. So that alone is a huge difference, even for your elite riders that are doing over 1,000 miles a day. That's another day at least that you're putting on. And you look at some of these riders, where they're at is crazy. We saw the other riders coming through Michigan, the other group, and now it's kind of fun to see the next group come through. And you got Yost out there still killing it. Pee Wee's right behind him, and English is bringing up the top 3. And I know Chrisman, I haven't even looked at this yet recently, but I know Chrisman will be right there because he always is. There he is, rounding out the top 5. And then you got a bunch of people coming right up behind. You got 1361 over here next to my homeland, Minnesota. So that's kind of fun. There's Frankie. She's left the checkpoint coming up through Wisconsin. So that's pretty fun. And I don't know, let's look where Big Balls Matt is. Little kids over here, but he's called what? He's not even paying attention. I have my Wi-Fi here. I told him I'd give him the password. He could just play games and do whatever, but he's being all responsible. There is Matt right here. Where is he? Making up a lot of time. I tell you what, that's an incredible where he's at on this competition when you think about the fact he went around Lake Michigan. Did an extra lap around the entire state or the entire lake. Like, that's a Great Lake. That's not a mini lake. That's not a tiny little lake. That's the Great Lakes. And he did an extra lap around it. So that's pretty awesome. Let's go check out the bottom people and see where they're at. All right. There is Dirty Dan out front, it looks like. And I don't know when they swap spots. I don't know where Ren is. Let's see. But there's Nancy. They came into the checkpoint yesterday on day 7. There's some video there. She was having a little trouble with the trip meter. And they got Brian there. And there's Ren right there. So you can tell when people pounded the miles and then they had to sleep. Or they had an issue, tires, whatever the case is, because to hold that pace for 11 days, 12, is incredibly hard. And now you're going to 13 days to do 11,000 miles through crazy twisties. Here comes Roadrunner and Teeter right here. I think that people make better time when they're by themselves. If you got time to make up, you got to get hunkered in. If your goal there is to be the first in your group, then you got to be hunkered. These are not people you're going to be able to catch very easily. You don't make up miles. It's very hard to make up miles. If you're 100, 200 miles behind somebody, you can make that up, but it might take you 2 days. If you get to be 1,000 miles behind somebody, you're not making it up unless they have bad luck, and maybe you got behind because you had bad luck. But whatever the case is, if you're 500, 1,000 miles behind a former champion, like, they just don't make enough mistakes to allow you to get ahead of 1,000 miles. Not that it's impossible, but highly unlikely. To think about how fast you have to go, and there's limits. You can't do 200 miles an hour. Nobody's doing 150. So if somebody's doing 70 miles an hour and you do 80, you're only gaining 10 miles an hour every hour of the day. 10 miles. So in a 10-hour day, you're gaining 100 miles. So, and that's if you can maintain that, the exact time, the exact everything, you can do that. And it's just hard to do, to stay 10 miles an hour ahead of somebody else, because they're pushing it as well. It's more likely you're going to catch them if they sleep, flat tire, motorcycle problems, whatever the case is. That's the only time you're really gonna see that. So, Dan here is, stretching that out, and he's doing a great job at it. And some people he was just riding with, I don't know if somebody in the comments, I don't know what happened to Ren. I would guess he had to get service, had to get tires. These twisty roads in high heat, they're eating up tires. So there's a lot of people who think, that you, excuse me, they can make a Hokahei with one set of tires. You may do it, but if you do it on one set of tires, you're not riding very hard, and you're out there for a month, because that many twisties, if you even ride it semi-aggressive, they're never making it, not a fully loaded bike, they're never making 11,000 miles. It's just not happening, not with any kind of aggressive riding. We were just talking about it at Harley yesterday when I did my last ride. My set of tires, front and rear, were done 8,000 miles. That's half of what, a little less than half of, or a little more than half, of what a rear tire usually gets, and maybe a third of what some people get for the front tires. And they were both done at 8,000. I put new ones on, another 8,000, and both of them are done again. I'm very happy that, I have Tires for Life. The Tires for Life program that I got through my dealership, I don't think they're real happy about it, but they're putting on new tires on my bike, every few days when I'm competing. They're doing something crazy, so they're not really digging that. But it's really fun to see these people, stretching it out, and all of these people out here, anybody you see here, all the way from Dirty Dan all the way back up, they're incredible riders. You don't get to this point in 7.5 days by not being absolutely on beast mode. It's just it's showing it, and it's really, really, really going to be tiring for them, grueling, and making it. Yeah, here's somebody talking about the tires. And when I'm talking about tires, I'm not talking about Pan Ams at all. And I'm not talking about Pan Ams because a Pan Am is not the same. So I don't know anything about them, but they are geared different. This is an adventure bike. The old days they weren't allowed. And but now they are. And Pan Ams are part of the Hokahei Challenge, but it's a different class of motorcycle, and I think they're totally different. They're not an American-made V-twin that the rest of the class is on. People have them and love them and ride them, but they're not the same motorcycle. So if you have just happen to be made by Harley. So when Harley came out with an adventure bike, there was no way to say you couldn't have them. But they're not the same. The bikers know they're not the same. They're a lot of advantages, a lot of disadvantages, but they're just not the same. So tires will last way different on there. But I'm referring to the other 268 riders that aren't on a Pan, that aren't riding an adventure bike made for corners, made for taking. Their lean angles are much different. I'm talking about lean angles, riding a motorcycle, this. You're riding a fully loaded Harley, your lean angle's like this, meaning you only take a corner at 40 miles an hour. If you're on a Pan, their lean angle's like this, you can take it at 60. If somebody doesn't see that as a different way of riding, an advantage, a disadvantage, whatever you want to say, well, then they don't understand hardcore riding. There's a reason why certain races are ridden on, adventure bikes, and some are on Harleys, traditional Harleys. Not Harley came up with a bike, but whatever. People ride wherever they want. I don't decide what people ride. That's not nothing to do with me. I'm just commenting on them, and I'm commenting on how tires work and why they last longer and how they're built. It's a totally different game. There is nobody on a V twin, an American-made V twin that's not an adventure bike that's going 11,000 miles. Who gave it? Who gave it their all? It's not happening. Not in all conditions, because you can get a tire. I can get a tire that'll last, but they're going to be dead because the first time they rode in the rain, they're going to be off the road. If it was summer hot weather, then no problem. You could rock that out. But first time it rains, you're gone because they're not grabbing the road. So to have a tire that you can ride in all conditions, the 105 degrees you're going to hit in Texas, and the 35 degrees you're going to hit in upper Michigan, that's a big difference. But Mark, let's see where Mark is at. Some people, I was hitting up the tracker and then they were gone, so I was sorry to see that. They're failing, and the last time I saw some people were gone was last night. So there's other people that have tapped out this morning, and I don't like to bring it up, talk about it until they put it out there. If they put it out there, then it's their business, and then I'll share it by any means. You guys taking off? Thanks for being on. Thanks, Samuel. Have a good time. Good luck shooting things. So anyhow, there's Mark right there. We can zoom out and kind of see where he's at. I'm having a little trouble because I'm staring into the sun here, but yeah, he's got a ways to go. He's coming into looks like he's in Kentucky. So he's coming into Kentucky. Yeah, there's the Danny Boone National Forest. Great place to ride. This whole route really seems like an incredible place to ride. Like, I haven't seen anything. And yes, you can take a trike on this. The question was, can you ride a trike for the challenge? Yes. There's a bunch of trikes out there. You know, I think trikes should start in the back. When they take off, so they start in the back or have another set for the trikes. And any trike you see on these roads, like, I don't even know how the hell anybody could ride this ride with a trike, because that much technical riding on a trike, they're not leaning at all. You want to talk about lean angles of a trike? That's the lean angle of a trike. And they go around a corner and it's like this. So there is no advantage to a trike at all. So if anybody, thinks there's an advantage to that, it is just not happening. So, that just not the same. And they're a lot of work. And I talked to a few riders out there. I've been texting them, trying to give them some motivation. And, the riders are getting tired. They're not used to riding, they're at 5,000 miles. Some are at 6, 7, whatever they're at. But they're not used to riding that kind of miles and working the shoulders and the arms and what it's taken to muscle an 800-pound machine around a corner is taxing on you, wearing on you. It is just incredibly beat down on your body. And if people aren't used to that, which the average Joe is not going to be used to riding the amount of twisties you do here, you'll pull in your clutch more times on this ride than you will the rest of the year combined. That's how many, all the shifting that takes place. It is just nonstop shifting, downshifting, upshifting, slowing down, hit the brakes, grab the brakes, give it gas. I mean, it nonstop. I mean, I am so glad I'm not out there with these guys right now, because I'd be puking in Kentucky going around that snake. 400 and some corners. Like, I love cornering, but God, that stuff gets old after a while. So I'm going to give you a little shot of the faces here. Let's see. I got to get the right video, and I'm like, hard. Here we go. It's kind of nice. Just want to share this. This is what it looks like here. It's really a cool view. I can pause that there. Oops. Or I can not pause it. My bad. But it's kind of fun to see, how magnificent this is. I want to get down to Crazy Horse as well, but Mount Rushmore is really, really cool. You have Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln right there, and they're all incredible figures that did really cool stuff. for our country. So it's just kind of fun to be here and look at what went into that. So that's it. Here's a question. I see Riot, so I'll see if I can read it here. What's up, Riot? I tell you what, the heat is what's up. And these riders are really going through it this year. That's for sure. They're getting a beat down, and they're really finding out, like I said before, why this is called the world's toughest motorcycle challenge. They're having more respect for people that have earned their patch, who have their cut on already. They're realizing what some people had to do to get that, and they're also understanding why some people have done it multiple times and not have it. There's people who have done this 2, 3, 4 times who have never been listed as a finisher. Something happened. People have accidents, tickets. They were doing something. And they may know a lot about it, but they didn't finish. And now people are understanding why people don't finish, why somebody didn't cross a line. And like I said yesterday, you're going to see people bailing on this in the upcoming week. And not because they're quitters, not because they can't finish it. People just have lives and they have a time frame they have to get back to. Like, people are out there saying, oh, they got to finish it. They got to do this. They got to do that. Yeah, that's nice, man. That's nice in theory. But you know what they also have to do? Pay the bills. You have to build afford to have a house. Nobody's gonna, lose their house because I signed up for this and I got to do it. So, to those riders, there's really nothing you can do about it. To the people who tap out because they just realize it's not for them, man, I might bang on somebody. I'd rather see somebody tap out than die trying. That's just a fact. And some people they do not have the skill level to be out there doing this. And that's something you just have to realize. You have to look in the mirror and take a deep breath and say, man, I am not as good as I thought I was. I am not ready for an 11,000-mile ride through high heat, pouring rain, twisty roads, short nights. I am not made for this, and I'm going to die if I keep doing it. And then you got to take a step back, and sometimes you got to, check the ego at the door, and that's hard for people. Some people are like, I got to go, no matter what. But, if you can't ride these roads and you're putting yourself at risk or another rider at risk, another person in another lane, this is not for you. And there's no shame in that. You signed up. At least you had the heart and soul to say, I'll give this damn thing a try, man. I want to see how I line up. But you have to know that, it might not be for you. And don't do things that are crazy and get yourself killed to try to prove something to somebody that nobody's going to remember anyhow. Nobody's going to remember that, oh, I went through it all and I died on the 28th day and I was at the halfway point. All they're going to remember is that somebody should have never been out there. You're at the halfway point and you're 3 weeks in. Like, this is clearly not for you. You're clearly not a pro long rider that the cut has on the back. You're clearly a rider who rides a motorcycle a lot and maybe can learn from it and move on. And that's no dig, no cut, no nothing. That's just facts, and I don't want to see somebody get whacked over trying to prove something that just is never going to happen. So, it's hard, that's for sure. And let's see, now somebody's talking again. So yeah, to do this live stuff, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I do things like this, and I just want to educate people. We have 60 monsters, riding in this. So it's fun for me to showcase them. It's also fun for me to just showcase everybody. I understand the Hokahei. I understand what's going through their minds and what their bodies are feeling. I knew last night that my good friend Frosty would be having a tough time on day 7. I know that because I've been there, and my mind just, you're very emotional, and things that maybe would bother you on a one day, or wouldn't on one day, will on this 7th day. And then you kind of get over a hump. There'll be a hump at day 7. It's why at day 7-ish, I never set an alarm. I didn't do anything. I slept all night long. And I would just sleep all night long, no matter who passed me, no matter what happened. I slept as long as I could that night. I usually tried to be in bed at 11. I'd sleep all night long. And I usually woke up at 6 when the sun started to come up. And then I was good. So when that happens, because I knew that was the mental day that just, you know, beat it down. And I didn't want to, you know, fold because of mental things that I thought just a little bit of sleep can help with. So it's just crazy. And it's so fun to take my passion for riding, my passion for helping kids live their best life and combine it into something. And the mile monsters began, with the Hokahei. That's what got me excited about it. That's what got me into it. That's what got me doing charity riding, and it's inspired so many others to do such cool things. And it's just fun. So it's fun to talk about, fun to show the world these thing, and it's all good. So I was just speaking of Frosty, so let's check where she's at. And I want to see, there was a couple riders that I was going to see too, because I want to see if anybody knows a couple riders. And I'll touch on one thing. Here's Frosty. She's back with Value. They were together when they started, then they banged, and they got side by side, and that's the way to do this ride. You ride with people who are riding with you on that day, but they might have a bad day. You might pull ahead of them and go ahead. You might have a bad day, they catch up, pull ahead of you. But you can't ride with somebody else when you're not, especially now, because you may want to go to bed and they might not want to. Now you're like, well, you know what, I'll just ride. I'll keep riding because Frosty doesn't want to stop, and but I'm super tired. And then you blow a corner and wreck out, something terrible happens. And it was, a really hard on you to do something like that when you're pushing your sleep, when you should be sleeping but you're not because you're riding with somebody. So tell everybody all the time, man, do your thing. And like, here's a comment about the dragons. People push so hard and get such lack of sleep. They're called dragons, and people will see dragons, and it's the trees, but the trees are actually alive and they look like a dragon. So that's pretty funny to how you get, and it's not real. You're like, oh man, I know it's not real. Okay, that's for sure. That's for sure not real. That's my mind playing tricks on me. That's my mind. And I lost my mind in one ride so bad. I finally got to a town, and when I got to the town, I was at a stoplight ordering an Uber. And I was going to order an Uber to take me to the dealership so I could check in. That's how messed up my mind was. And then it dawned on me, well, I have to have my bike at the checkpoint. I don't have to ride it. Well, how am I going to get it there? And I'm at a stoplight. And I was 2 miles from the dealership. I made it there, and it was just rough. I pushed way too far. I pushed to the point, this is a danger to me, to other people, and you gotta be smarter than that. And that's why. And I was doing that because I was an idiot, and I was trying to make it to a checkpoint because there's going to be people there to cheer me on. So I do want to show you one other thing here, because if you hear the snoring, it's live feed. I'm really entertaining my audience. So if you snore and hit your head on the computer, you won't be alone. So that's pretty funny. I don't know. I was trying to hold the computer there, but I don't know if it was a good shot or not. I'll have to look back and watch that again. But it's pretty cool. But here you got people talking about, oh yeah, it worked. It's a little delayed, so it's happening here. It shows up on his own phone by the time he's awake. So it has like a 7-second delay. We're live, but I don't know, we're not actually live. So that's kind of cool. But anyhow, I don't know what I was thinking here, but that's pretty funny. So no, I lost my total train of thought. Yeah, there were gas stations people see, and yeah, that's pretty funny. The goat says you pulled an Iceman. Iceman will be like, oh look, no one's looking. And then somebody's looking. Nah, I'm good. Just resting my eyes a bit. Full on snore, ripping it up. So that's always kind of funny. But man, I zoomed away. I got this on here. Let's see. Did I have that on? I think I had it on screen with. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of riders. There's Taco. I'll share that screen again. There's Taco and Frosty and Value. And there was a couple riders last night that I want to hit on. because this actually pissed me off. There was a couple riders last night that Frosty was and Value were sleeping behind a church. And there were a couple riders that pulled into that church, pulled in behind them, and parked their motorcycles next to their tents. Messed around and then got back on their bikes and left a short time later after walking around their tent. And what was the rider number?
1215, 1213.
1215 and 1213. So I'm going to take a look, because if anybody knows who these people are, I'm throwing them underneath the bus. Bug Slayer. So whoever Bug Slayer is, if you're a friend of Bug Slayer, do me a favor and reach out to them and tell them, stop looking at their goddamn tracker to find out where people are sleeping. Find your own place to sleep, and don't be bothering people when they're sleeping, because that is very irritating, to say the least. There's two riders right here, and they're right here riding together. So they're riding together, and there's no way, Dirt and Bug Slayer, there's no way that they would know that a rider is hiding behind a church sleeping if they're not looking at their tracker. So they're pulling up their tracker, trying to find a place to sleep at night. How they have to do, sleep outside. But instead of doing it like, how it's meant to be done, they chose to find somebody else who had already found a spot, then go and wake them up. So I tell you what, God bless them that they ran into Frosty and Value, because in 2024, when I was with Iceman and Roadrunner several times, you'd done that stupid shit, we'd have been having a talk, man. I got fired up just hearing about it and seeing it, because I can't believe that as much as a rider would have respect for sleep and understanding how important it is, that they would be such jackasses, they would pull up to a tent and wreck somebody else's night's sleep, which could cost them dearly. And I'm not talking about stupid things like cost them a place, cost them coming in 30th instead of 32nd or 28th, whatever. I'm talking about you could cost somebody gets an hour and a half of sleep because now they're stressed out about security and everything else. You could cause somebody to crash, and that is no joke, and it pissed me off. And I'm happy I'm not out there, because I don't have the right temperament, man. I'm a fun-loving, good-timing dude right until people cross a line. And you cross that line, I think that's straight jackassery. So if you have, if these are your friends, your family, I have no idea if these are guys, girls, whatever. I don't give a shit. Whoever they are, somebody needs to reach out to them and tell them, don't be doing stupid shit, because that's not how the challenge is to be run. And if they come up with any kind of excuses that, oh, we didn't know anybody was behind there and it was just a freak, I'm really going to have it out with whoever this is at the finish line. So I think that's nonsense. So that's all I want to talk about with that, but I wasn't letting that go. That was straight stupidness on their part. And sorry for ranting and being kind of a bitch about it, but anybody who has ridden this knows what it takes to get a good night's sleep. And you don't get much sleep, and then to have a fellow rider interrupt your sleep is just unbelievable to me. I think that's just crazy. Somebody out here doing the same thing you're doing, and then they're interfering with how you do it. I mean, I don't dig that at all. So that's that. Let's get back to the fun stuff. I went on my little rant and made me angry. Fires me up. I don't even know if I took my blood pressure medicine today, so I gotta be careful about that. So let's see. Hyde was the other one the goat was asking about. So let's see where Hyde is, and then we'll go check on Bradley. So goat wants to know where his boy Hyde is. Ah, dang it! I didn't read that before I got rid of it. There's Hyde. He's rolling alone, looking like he's some really nice farm country. Time you see that. There's some other riders right by him. Look at he's in near a group of people. So what's he in here? Indiana. Looks like he's in Illinois. So he's doing good. He's going to come in the checkpoint today. I think the checkpoint's going to be very busy today. A lot of people coming in. I saw some things about Twitch. She's right there on the screen. Somebody showed me, Hydro showed me a video where she had a white shirt when she started, and it's all dirty. And I love that, because I have a white shirt that hangs in my office on the ceiling. And it was Casper's ass white, and now it's just like a grayish like marbly, and that was like riding through the rain, so it actually got washed a little bit. Oh, good job. I don't have the screen on my thing. It's a screen, so thank you for the heads up on that. There they are right there. I'll get Hyde again so people can see it, but he's right here. He's right in this area. Oh, there's Bradley right there. So Bradley was next, but we got him on our own. Looks like he's taking a nap, doing something. His bike is stopped. Staring in the sun makes it very hard to see this screen. I'm like hiding against the block. So there's Bradley. You can see where he's at, ref 24. But it's really crazy to see this. He is in Paducah. That's where the Superman statue is, I think. Metropolis. What do you call it? What's it? Metropolis. I was trying to say Metropolis and Metropolitan at the same time, so I just kind of like blah, 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 blah. But anyhow, I tell you what, it's really fun. Like, this tracker is such a zoo here. I still laugh at people worried about you're going to share locations. Like, yeah, man, I'm going to share a location. Hey, Jameson's right here. And guess which way Jameson's going? I have no goddamn idea. Jameson could be going down, up, over, whatever. Like, sorry, man. Like, I have to get a map out here and like highlight to know which way they're going. Like, I got to zoom in and be like, okay, Jameson's in this group. He's going down, or he's going over. He's going up. So, if you're Jameson's family and I happen to be calling the name out and you're watching this, well, I don't have any hot tips for you other than he has a lot more road to go, or she. I don't even know if that's a guy or a girl. They have a lot more road to go. So they've been through hell and they're going back. So I think it's kind of fun. Let's see. That's pretty funny. I have a day at Legends coming up, so I'll find out. I'll ask them if they have any free samples, and we'll get you hooked up with some free samples. That's for sure. Here's one about Jug and George, and that's pretty funny. Oh, they got to see the wrong side of the river. That's really funny. Like, this is George's wife calling him out for visiting the wrong side of the rivers. Let's see if they got their stuff squared away. Jug has a history of riding the wrong side of the river, so I think that's going to be kind of fun. He might get a new road name after this. And there's Jug, and there's George. So I'm glad to see they're back together again. I thought they had a falling out yesterday when they were separated, but I think that was a tracker issue. So evidently, now they're heading north, but when they were heading south, they were on opposite sides of the river, and I guess that happened this morning too. And that's pretty fun to watch. It's way more entertaining for me than it is for them, because after 7 days of hard riding, when you make a mistake, you know that's adding 50 miles to an already incredibly hard route. And that's 50 miles, 50 minutes, another hour less sleep you're going to get, whatever the case is. So it's very disheartening. Like, it's a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining when it's on day one, when you're fresh and you got adrenaline going. Day 7 through 12, it does nothing but piss you off. Like, it's no fun. You've seen all the cool roads, like turning around to go back, no matter how nice that road is, they're just like, oh, and angry about it. So that part's kind of fun to watch as a spectator, but as a rider, man, they're really getting it handed to them. And I think it's pretty good. And I tell you what, to all the riders who have gone, they're on day 8, who have managed to not go in the ditch, not tip over and get hurt, not hit an animal and wreck their bike, have not made so many wrong turns, they're mentally broken and tapped out. To all of those riders, man, I tip my hat to you. You are doing epic. You're doing incredible. You just got to keep pounding through it and push as hard as you can and stay within your limits of a rider. It's no different than picture this as one big group ride, and you said, if everybody said you got to lead the way, where would you be? Like, be there, because you can't ride any different than your ability is, no matter what everybody else in the group is doing. So if you're the slow rider out there, but you're giving it 100%, then that's no problem. But stay within your limits. This is not the time to be meeting up with somebody you don't know and riding with them, and now you're trying to ride their ride. This is not the time. You're tired, you're wore out, you want help mapping, you want to team up and tag team this. That's fine and dandy, but be careful. So if you got friends and family out there, steer them to make good choices, help them, stop, feed the mind, the body, and the bike. And I'm going to give you another shot of where we are here before we sign off because I don't think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to turn it like this and make sure we can see it here. It's like a little screen. There it is. But, I was way better if we had a camera, but we had another camera that was with us. We had a little malfunction. By malfunction, that's a malfunction of the brain, packing it in the wrong box. So the camera's working fine, but the brain that puts it here with us is not working so fine. So yeah, so we're all good. But other than that, we're good, man. I think it's amazing that we sit here in 2026 staring at Mount Rushmore, showing it off to thousands of people around the world, while we're watching 276 riders riding their motorcycles all over the country, and we're literally watching them live do what they do. And I think that's just badass. I mean, the first time I sat here, we didn't have any of this technology. The first time I saw this place, so it's just super, super cool to see this. And I think we live in a great time that we get to experience this, and you get to, there we go, just change the comment that was on there, because I just think it's really awesome to sit here and think that you're at home, I'm in the Black Hills, you're looking at Mount Rushmore on your screen, and you're also watching riders on a split screen that are doing an epic ride from, West Texas all the way to Rhode Island. And we sit here and discuss it and talk about it like it's nothing. If you go back 50 years or go back to when this ride started, and think about technology in 2010, we thought we were pretty advanced then. So what's it going to be like following this ride when, another 20 years go by? So another 15 years go by. So, it'll be pretty good. So everything changes. That's for sure. The only thing that you can guarantee in life is shit's gonna change. So you roll with it, or you get left behind. That's all there is to it. So with that, I'm about out of here. Again, I want to wish my daughter Taylor a happy birthday. I know she's not watching this because she's super busy, but I did talk to her, and I did want to tell her happy birthday. I love you. Thank you for making me a dad. That was awesome. And Amy, thank you. And that's pretty good. That's all I got. We'll catch up on everybody else later. Big Balls Matt, we hit him up earlier, but he was doing great. The monster riders we have left are doing great. We've lost a few. We're losing, one a day, over one a day. And that's just the way it is. That's life. And that is, life on the road. So, I'm excited for these riders. Get with your people out there. Somebody, send them a text, tell them make good choices about other riders, that kind of thing, because they could have bad consequences for people when they make poor choices. So with that, I think I'm out of here. Sleepy, do we need anything else?
We're good. Let's hit the highway, get some wind.
We're gonna go find a hammock for him, and then we're good. But that's awesome. So everybody, I thank you for watching. Remember, sharing is caring. Get this message out. Share it. We'll be on again at 7. We're going to be on at the rally again. Black Hills Harley Davidson, exit 55. If you're heading by, rip in and, say hello. We're right next to Wild Ass. They are kicking ass. So if you need a seat, you want to have a comfortable ass, come out there and see Wild Ass. And then you're going to see us right next door. So it's pretty awesome. TLC is working there next door. So it's great. She's always a fun time and always so bubbly and by. So that's awesome. So that I'm done babbling. We're out of here. Samuel left. He gave a wave goodbye, and I was going to give him another $20 to stay for the exit, but he said, peace out. I'm out of here. I'm taking my $20. We're going for ice cream. See everybody.